Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Tuesday the 14th of November. In this video we'll be looking at the charts on the FTSE-100 index, which on TradingView has the code UK100GBP. What we'll see is that the medium long term position still looks okay. We've now fallen to key moving average supports. Let's see if we expect those to hold. Let's look at those charts. So starting with the weekly, so here each candle represents 1 week's trade, and you can see that I've left the downtrend line in place that I drew, well, it's about a couple of months ago now. We did break through it to the upside, but you can see we've come back below it. It's often quite useful to leave a trend line on your chart because other people do, and it does become a factor. And you'll see on the daily that actually it did give support when we came back to that old trend line, even though there was no other logical reason for a support there. Beside that, you can see that on this weekly we've come back to the 20-week moving average. That's at spot virtually, or within a point of spot, and is giving support as it's moving up. It would be a concern if we fell below there for a couple of weeks, although immediately below there we've got the 50-week rising, which is at 73.47. Momentum, you can see that it's declined. Presently the RSI is 50.95, mid-range in its shallow downtrend, and the MACD are starting to roll over again, although at the moment the short term is above the longer term, but they are diverging, so you need to keep an eye on that. Also, they are above zero, so they're not indicative of negative momentum as yet. On the daily picture, here you can see that we've pulled back to support. We're in between the 50 and the 200-day moving average. Again, you can see that trend line I drew, and you can see that it did give support around the end of October. Did look like we'd broken up. The high that we had on the 7th of November was actually below the high that we had on the 2nd of June. That high was 75.99.7, and on the 7th of November we went to 75.90.4, so just 9 points lower, but that is a factor. If we don't start to move back up in the short medium term, then we could have a double top potentially. Be aware of that. But at the moment we've pulled back to support to the 50 and the 200. The 200-day moving average is at 73.93.04 and would be a solid support. Momentum wise, you can see that we've lost upside momentum, now suffering from downside momentum, with the RSI in a downtrend and presently below 50 at 40.51, and the MACD as well. The short term has just gone below zero, tracking away from the longer term and indicative of negative momentum. On the 4-hour picture, we've moved below all the moving averages. The 50 and the 200 did give support for a short time, but they've now collapsed. We have had a bearish cross, the 20 crossing the 50, so be aware of that. So they all look quite negative. 200 still moving up, but that will start to roll, perhaps getting overextended away from 20 and 50. And also you can see that we've maybe got a bottoming picture on the RSI, and the MACD, if anything, is oversold. So maybe we could get a short-term bounce, which would take us maybe up to 74.60 initially. We've the next resistance seen just above the 7,500 level. Looking at the support and resistances, resistance 1 is the 20-day, which is at 94.15. With the 54-hour, the next resistance 75.05 spot 41. Supports coming in at the 200-day 73.93 spot 02, and then the 50-week 73.47 spot 26. So that's been TA for traders, having a look at the FTSE-100. The conclusions from the video are that the longer term picture remains okay. We've fallen into the supports of the 50 and 200 day moving average. That moving average progression seen as important. Momentum is turning negative, but on the 4 hour, the MACD already short term oversold. Thanks for watching the video. Please remember, these videos are for educational purposes and are my opinion, and they're not an investment recommendation.